Hi, it's Diederik here. I thought it was time I gave you another update on the practice, and the reason is there's been question after question after question after question, and I've answered a lot of these on email, and I'm happy to do so for you as well. I'm even happy to get on the phone and have a talk to you, or set up a Skype call if you're overseas. So please, if you have any questions at all, ask me. And I'll go through them with you and even help you map out your own program if you like. And the second thing I want to mention now is that everything that I'm applying here, I teach in VBA in the Veterinary Business Academy. The Veterinary Business Academy is a monthly subscription site. It's a membership site, and you can join and you will get a very simplified monthly module to complete on whatever that monthly module is. Anywhere from leadership to marketing to team to finances to systems. There's all sorts of modules in there. We've got well over 100 modules on different topics now. So what you can do is you can find an article on Facebook, for example, or the Facebook strategies that we're using that are growing this practice so well, and you can simply take that and apply it. The module will take you about an hour to do, and then to go through, and then about another hour to implement. You get all the templates, the resources, the tools, the scripts. Everything is in there, so I really strongly suggest that you have a look at that. Anyway, on with today's topic. So if you're a member of Judy Gillespie's Vet Answers group, which is a free group, she asked me she asked me a whole heap of questions, and I answered them for her. And so if you're a member of that group, you will have already seen this post. If not, and most overseas people are not obviously members of Judy's group, then I'll go through this for you now. So the first question she asked me is, how have the existing staff managed all the changes? That's a really, really, really great question. Our growth rate this month, last month alone, so that's September, the growth rate in September was 76%. 76%. Heads started to rattle because the growth rate was so huge. Typically, staff will cope with growth rates of 25 to 30%, and that's what we were targeting. I'm not going to knock back a 70% growth rate, but we had to be really careful with how we manage that. And I'll just read out what I've done. So Judy's question, how have the existing staff managed all the changes? The two staff that I retained from the old practice are very devoted to the practice and to the clients and the patients. They could see that the practice needed to be upgraded and updated, and they were really, really keen to be involved in this very exciting to them project. The two others who came on board at the beginning, which is the 14th of May, and the other new person who came on board last week, so we hired an extra person last week, they were hired because of their personalities, their friendliness, and their wanting to be part of something modern and changing and fresh and vibrant. So they were hired because I knew they could cope with change and they wanted to be involved in something exciting. However, our growth rate has been so extreme, 43% all up, and as I said, 76% just in September, that for one person, one of the existing people, during the month of September, cracks started to appear, some fairly major cracks. Now, because of the really hectic days and the loss of some of the structure that she was used to, because of those reasons, she is struggling or was struggling. Now, she is integral to the practice, and everyone is integral to the practice as well. So I need to make sure that I'm retaining them and keeping them happy. And their happiness and their being able to cope is a really important, in my mind, is a really important strategy for me. So we are putting in place more and more strategies in place to help us all manage and help us all cope with the growth that we are experiencing. Now, last year there was only ever one person on at a time, plus the vet, And typically that one person had to find things to do to get them through the day. In other words, they had to find cleaning to do, they had to find walls to clean, they had to find, stuff to put through the washing machine. They had to find things to do to get them through the day and to stop them getting bored. This year we've got 2 people on every day now. We hired the other person, last week to fill up our last second person day, if that makes sense. We have 2 people on every day, and on some days 2 people struggle to get through all the work and to get it completed. Last week, or the last week in September, we put in a full in-house lab system, and the dental gear's also arrived, and we get trained on that shortly. Now, this means having all this in-house stuff means that for them, things are just going to get busier and busier and busier and busier, with more stuff for them to do, and also much more stuff to learn, which is also stressful in its own right. It may be fun, but it's still stressful. Next week, we start to, I was just thinking whether I should show you something, and I won't, I'll just talk about it. So Michelle doesn't even know this, I don't think, because I just made this up last week or a couple of days ago. So next week we start to implement our client guarantees. So the first client guarantee that we're implementing is a client satisfaction guarantee. And yes, we are implementing guarantees. We are going to guarantee that you are, as a client, will be satisfied, will be happy with the care that you and your pet receive. And if you don't, you'll get your money back. The next after the satisfaction guarantee will be a communication guarantee, and we will guarantee to communicate with you on a certain regular basis, and I'll talk all about that when we actually implement that. Now, there are more guarantees to follow, soon after that as well, and that'll be staying on time, and there's a few other guarantees as well, and again, I'll fill you on those when they come out. Now, making sure that we hold ourselves accountable to those guarantees is going to further increase the workload, and it's going to hugely increase the business. If you look at the stats on guarantees, businesses that guarantee stuff, their growth rate and their profitability is extraordinary. So something I strongly advise you to look at as well. Now, so in answer to your question, how have the existing staff managed all the changes? They're handling the changes superbly well, but as expected, not perfectly. And so we're working on that. Next question is, what change management strategies did you use? And were there any hiccups or issues when introducing so many changes? So the strategies that I used to implement the change management are the classic ones. And the first step is to get the team so step 1 is to get the team to see that the changes are needed, and that the changes are beneficial to the patients and the clients, and therefore beneficial to us as the team as well. And then step 2 is to help them design the strategies and have them be part of the implementation process. If you want to put it this way, they're in charge of the change process, if you will. So that helps ameliorate or alleviate a lot of the stresses that go in with the change. So once the change is in place, you then test, measure, receive feedback, adjust, test, measure, rinse and repeat, if you like. So realistically, the hiccups have been minimal, just very minimal indeed, aside from the one lady that I talked about earlier. Aside from everyone has loved the changes. From a client perspective, yep, we've had 2 client complaints about the changes. The classic one being things were so much better when the old boss was here. That was the exact wording that someone used. But yes, we've had at least 250 positive comments and a massive positive ratings on Facebook. I think 2 versus 250 is a fair trade-off. Now, how's the online booking system going? Absolutely superb. Absolutely superb. We're getting a regular, 3 to 4 a week now happening. And we haven't really advertised it to any great degree. We are just now, it will go out in the newsletter that's coming out next week. So the online booking system will go in the newsletter, so the clients will be educated about it or told about it. So that will go on the homepage and the Contact Us page. it's on the online booking system is on the homepage and the contact us page from the website. It'll be mentioned in our monthly newsletter, both the hard copy and the email copy. And our 4-part vaccination recall sequence, or annual health check recall sequence, or Pro Heart recall sequence, or whatever. So everything now gets a 4-step recall sequence: SMS, email, letter, and phone call. So in that SMS and email, the online booking link will form part of that now. So at $100 a month, I think it's a darn good investment. Now, one thing I should say to you is that our client demographics are not the same as a big city practice, because we've got a lot more baby boomers and Gen X clients here, and so they're more reluctant to use technology, mobile phones, all SMSs and all those sorts of things. So we only have a handful of Gen Ys and even less Gen Xs and millennials, but that will change with the update of the practice, and they're going to be more using those online booking, that online booking system and whatnot. So as our online marketing starts to gain traction and get more results, and as we get more of the younger clients coming here, I expect online bookings to become even more popular. So the next question is, how did you decide to introduce wellness plan? Well, for starters, they're not wellness plans, they're value plans, because they're very different to the classic wellness plan. I'm not a great believer in the classic wellness plan. Value plans, yes, a great believer. I see Green Cross and VCA and those other corporates using wellness plans. These are not wellness plans. And one of the big differences is that there's no discounts on our value plans. Absolutely no discounts at all on procedures and food and worming and dentistry and all that sort of stuff. Now, I've been talking for the last 12 months, when I'm talking around the traps, about the where I see the world going, and I see us now entering, we're leaving the technology age, which has started in 2000, and I see that now is ending, and it's being replaced by what I call the subscription age. So it's the age of the subscription model. I bet you have a subscription to something, whether it's iTunes or Spotify, whether it's to food being delivered to your house or the practice, whether it's Xero accounting software. You will have some form of subscription where something is delivered to you on a regular basis and it's direct debited out of your credit card, which makes it an ongoing thing that just rolls over and over. And this is the age we're entering into, the subscription model. And when we help our clients become part of that, they want all the stuff from us, the wormers and the flea control and the heartworm and the tick and all those sort of bits and pieces. And when we supply it and it lands on their door every month or 2 months or 3 months or whatever product you're using, and their debit card or credit card gets debited on a regular basis, that makes their life super easy. And we'll be in their face or in their door or in their mailbox, whatever way you want to look at it, 12 times a year. Will be height of mind. They'll think pet, they'll think Highland Vet. So during this age, we're going to buy very little, not many things outright at all, but we're going to need a lot of things via regular monthly payments. Amazon, Marley Spoon, Be Free, Vision, RX Works. I mean, they all work on that same model. Our clients are becoming more and more time poor, but do want to do more and more for their to ensure that their pet lives a long, healthy life, whether that's cat, dog, or horse. So I want to make their life easy. I want to help them be able to afford to do all the preventative and the routine healthcare that they want to do and need to do for their pet. So we've designed a program which delivers all their monthly pet care preventatives directly to their mailbox every month, and that is then debited from their card every month. Now, included in that program, we've included an annual health check, vaccination, and a few other things. We actually have 3 tiers. So there's the puppy kitten one, there's the adult one, and there is the senior one. So in the senior one, they get blood pressure measurement and tonometry and 2 checks a year and full bloods, and a few other things. And again, they pay for that over 12 months. In the puppy and kitten one, they get all their puppy and kitten vaccinations and the microchip and all the wormers and the desexing and everything else, and they again have the option of paid off. So most people struggle because they struggle to pay all their bills out of from their wages. And when you get a big bill like desexing and all those puppy vaccinations, or a big bill with the seniors, if you want to run bloods and do blood pressure and do everything else, people just can't afford that. They don't have that amount of disposable income, but they can pay it off regularly, and they can pay it off over 12 months. If you allow them to pay it off over 12 months, they'll take you up on it, and if it'll fit into their budget. So effectively, we've locked them into becoming a forever client of this practice. As I said, the program is not discounted, and the value to them is to be able to fit their pet care costs into a regular monthly payment cycle rather than one huge payment a year. The other benefit is that they know that all their pet preventatives are taken care of. All they have to do is open their mail and shove it down the dog or cat's throat, or put it on the top spot, whatever it happens to be. Huge convenience for a busy working family. Next question, what do you consider the 3 top things that you did that made the most difference? So the first thing is updating the building and the people. Paint, fresh coat of paint, freshen the building up inside and out, repair the garden. These are all downlights now. We had old rotten fluoros, we had torn pictures on the walls. Everything here is artwork. I don't know if you can see it, but it's all artwork. There's no daggy posters or anything. The reps are not allowed to hang anything on the walls. This is all personal, original artwork. Logo, uniform, business cards that match, website that match. So that's number 1. Number 2 strategy is every client walks out with their next booking in place, their next visit scheduled, the next visit locked in. Now, when I work with practices, a lot of them say to me, "Oh, Diederik, the staff don't like it, or it's so hard, or whatever." Look, I've had the practice now for 4 months, and in the 4th month, we've got everyone walking out with their next visit booked. It is not hard. If you're not making this happen yet, it's your mindset or your team's mindset. It is not the client's challenge. And then most importantly, this is the 3rd strategy, but it really should probably be number 1, is to hire the right people. So hire the right people to come on board and be part of the team. I hired people who are people. I hired people who want to smile, who want to serve and help people, and who are committed to our practice core values. Then I trained them to be receptionists and nurses, not the other way around. The other way around is horse before the cart. And then the last question I've got here is, would you have done anything differently? And the answer is absolutely. Yes, I would have. Now, the main one is that in spite of working at implementing changes slowly and growing the practice slowly, and as I said before, the target growth rate was between 25 and 30%. It's currently over 45%, and that is hard to cope with. We've grown too quickly. This has caused some staff stress. I've talked about that already, but that's okay. We're working on managing that, and already in the last 2 or 3 days, things have improved significantly. As part of that growth, the other thing that I've changed is the value plans that I just talked about. As part of our growth, we have not been selling those value plans as well as we should have and as well as we could have. That's okay. Once we have the in-house lab system sorted, once we have the in-house dental digital dental sorted, then we'll circle back to implement those plans. Now, as I said right up front, you want to know more about this, contact me. Or if you want to become part of this whole system, join Veterinary Business Academy. All this is in the Academy in a modularized version. If you have any questions at all, please, I'm happy to make time for a chat. Contact me and we'll make time to talk. See you shortly. Bye.